Hi, this is Cynthia with SimplyCynthia.com. This is my Chevron Houston Marathon recap. Finally getting to do this. It is Thursday, and I'm still tired, but I'm recovering. Recovery is going well, and I'll talk to you about that at the end. So, no suspense at all. I finished it in 5 hours, 23 minutes, and 4 seconds. So, a little bit better than Chicago and definitely not a PR. But I am so glad to have finished and to be here to tell you this story. So that was my third marathon. It was one of the most challenging races I had mentally, and that's one of the things that I've learned that it pays to train yourself mentally for those races because going out on training runs is actually fun for me. But if your mind is not right, or if you just keep having mental challenges after mental challenges, you have to know how to deal with those. So I'll talk about that. So the race start. My husband and I went to our local running store and we picked up one of my dear friends and we went together to the George R. Brown Convention Center where the start was. So he dropped us off and we went in. We met with our running group. We also took time to eat breakfast. We do a prayer and we do a big hoo-yah before we go to the corral, and I also checked in my bag. So that was the beginning of the race. I met up, just gave all my friends a hug that I had a chance to see and wish them a blessed and good race. So we go to the corral. I went with my coach, the coach from my group, and I hung with him for a good 6 miles, and I can tell you that that was the most difficult part of the race for me, mile 6, because he kept going. I mean, in a great pace and everything, but I just had to slow down a little bit. So that was when my mental kind of thing started. So I was like, well, I'm gonna have to run my own race. And mind you, I had no watch because mine is a little old and it stops at 10 miles. So I decided I'm not gonna take a watch. And I don't know if that was smart or not, but I was not concerned about my time. I just wanted to finish strong, which I did. So went by myself till mile 8 when I met with a 75-year-old who had run many marathons in his life and kind of share some war stories with me, which I appreciate. And of course, he was doing amazing, as far as pace. So I felt like I needed to slow down again. So I did, went to the restroom. And of course, that's the time where you see the pace teams passing you, pace team after pace team. And I'm like, all right, I didn't bring my watch, no big deal. I'm still feeling good. Let's just keep on going. So throughout the course, I saw a lot of people I knew, and that's another reason why I like Houston so much, because a lot of my friends come out to support their family or to support me. So I saw my friend Lisa, and who was supporting her husband, and she also made me a sign. She was supporting me as well, and I appreciate her. Her and her kids like twice, and that was lovely, just to see them. My friend Melanie that rode with me, I saw her husband and her family as well, and they saw me. That was fun. And my friend Stuart, I saw her as well in the beginning of the race. So it was lovely to have people that knew me cheering for me. That makes a world of a difference, and I appreciate them very much. So in mile 15, my friend Lisa's husband, Brian, we met up together, and I was about to stop. And I saw him, I was like, oh, hey. And then I kind of kept going. And we ran together till around mile 22. And it was good to kind of run with somebody that I knew, that I was training with. He had friends that met with him after mile 18 and 22 to help him and pace him. So it was fun to kind of, just kind of talk to him. And one of the jokes was that people would not scream my name as much as they would scream a common name. Not common as, but like an easier name, such as Brian. So I was counting because I wrote my name. I had my name on my shirt. And I was just like, last year I had Listenby and people would not pronounce that at all. And actually, as I crossed the finish line, the guy said, go Listerine. And I said, this year, this will not happen. So I decided, let's stick with Cynthia and see what happens. So I got a lot of Go FPF. I got some Cynthia, and usually when I walked and people kind of could read what was on my shirt that they said it. But it was funny because for each Go Cynthia, I think Brian got like 5 Go Brian. So that was funny, and it kind of kept us from thinking about what we're doing so much. So after Brian went on, kind of spat a little bit, I slowed down a little bit more. That was around mile 23 and 24, and I was very tired. And mile 22, actually, we saw Lisa again, my friend, and she gave me the biggest hug, and I told her, what was I thinking? And she looked at me in my eyes, and she just gave me one word of encouragement that really stayed with me to the end of the race, and I really appreciated her for that. And of course, I started crying, and then Brian's friend took over the run. She came to support him or whatever. And she's like, okay, I got some news to distract you from what you're doing. And she said, there was a shooting outside of the vice president's home. And we were like, what? And they're like, and also there's a car chase at 59. And hopefully this car won't come to the marathon route. And I said, that totally distracted me from being tired and from all the tears I was crying on mile 22. So that was great, just kind of being distracted from what I was doing. A lot of my running club friends were also speeding in front of me, and I was encouraging them, and I was telling people, go get that PR, just kind of cheering them on, and internally just praying, God, please help me finish this thing, which he did. The times that I was by myself, I, of course, didn't have any earphones because I decided I'd run without them. So I decided I was going to pray, and I prayed that God would give me peace, and he really did. So this was one of my most peaceful marathons at the same time, I just decided you have to be at peace to finish this, because it's grueling and it's tough. There's nothing easy about it. But God's perfect peace was with me, and I really appreciated that. And then that was a quick prayer. And then I was like, okay, what are we going to think about now? There's nobody running next to me. And I said, oh, let me think about whatever I'm reading in the Bible. So I thought about that for a little bit, and then somebody showed up, and I started talking to them or whatever. So that was kind of like my way of just forcing myself to stay peaceful, stay focused, and finish. Around mile 24, 25, I saw one of my running group friends, Mr. Varun, and he was like, how are you doing? And I was like, and I start crying. So he starts running with me, and he's like, I know what you're going through. I remember it from last year. And he ran with me until they kicked him out, and he was just a godsend, really, to help me finish that. And he was like, think about how much this is going to mean to you. And then he's like, all right, I got Advil and crackers. What do you need? I was like, I'll take the crackers, and they were really good. So just having somebody to help me, he's like, all right, focus on your breathing. Let's keep going. You're going to do this, and I thank him and his wife for being such encouragers. I mean, our whole running group has been, but it was such a blessing to have somebody to help me finish the marathon. So I thank God for sending him in mile 25-ish, to help me finish. The lessons learned, God will always send somebody to help you run strong. And I saw that during that marathon. It happened in Chicago, it happened last year in Houston, and this year especially, because I didn't have a plan or a big group of people to run with me. So I learned that your mental game needs to be strong, meaning people say, have a mantra. We had one, and actually the one that we joked the most about was trust your legs. And I used that at mile 1, but by mile 25, when I really needed it, I was just like, we need something else. So I would say have several, and just learn how to call on God to help you so that you will focus and finish. For me, this whole season, even during my training runs, I kept saying, you are peaceful. You have peace and you want to finish this thing, because it is grueling. There's nothing convenient or easy about running a marathon. So your mental game needs to be strong. That's my next thing. Like sometimes only one mantra won't do. So have several. Have several things that you can do, stuff that you can distract yourself with. If you have a support team, which, thank God for them fit, I did. I mean, they will help you kind of get your mind where it needs to be, because you have to believe that you can finish. Um, some changes paid off. Another lesson learned, meaning I changed my socks from last year. I had no blisters. Thank God for Injinji socks, which are the toe socks. Those things changed my life. So I ran more comfortably this year. And I can say that I use the same shoes. Of course, they're newer, but my feet even adapted to them. So I learned a lot in a year. So changing my socks changed. I got, thank God I was blessed not to have any chafing at all, because I knew exactly where I needed to put Vaseline. Sorry, I don't buy Body Glide because Vaseline is cheaper. I got that. And another thing that I've learned from 1 year is to run light, meaning last year I had an iPod, I had my cell phone, I had my water bottle, I had gels. This year I got a bottle where I could put my cell phone in there. I put my pretzels in there, and I put I forgot, I had something else in there. But running light is easier because you have a long way to go. So why carry a bunch of stuff, So that was another lesson learned. It is also, people tell you this, and it is true, you have to know why you're doing what you're doing. The reason why I run is because God's given me a second chance to get my health together. I've taken the second chance, and He's taking me to places such as marathons that I didn't know I had it in me or I could. I try not to think a lot about emotional things during my marathon, because I start crying and hyperventilating, and it's just not fun. But it is nice to have a purpose for running, and knowing why you do it is very important. And visualizing yourself finishing is important. It helped me during my short or long runs. I would see myself getting that medal, and during the marathon, I can tell you how many times I saw myself getting the medal in my neck. So when I finally crossed the finish line, of course, what I do is I have my talk with God in mile 25 and a half-ish, because I'm just like, thank you, we're done, right? We're finished. We may not have crossed the finish line, but I appreciate you for letting me do this, giving me the health to do this. I feel well, and I know it's because of God's grace, mercy, and blessing. So after we do that, it's all eyes on you, because it's a bunch of people, kind of cheering you at the finish line. So of course, my amazing running group taught me how to take winning marathon finisher photos. So I'm all smiles, and I usually do one of these, which means all glory to God for helping me finish strong, which He did. There's nothing easy or convenient about finishing a marathon, but the end is so glorious. So here's the medal for this year finisher. So it goes to my collection here. And plans for the future are to, number one, rest and recover very well. I had some difficulties, and considering that I did 2 marathons in 90 days and I had a few infections I had to fight, I think that I'm really happy with my results. So the plan is to give myself a 1-year break as far as 26.2 miles, definitely do other races and keep my training going, but focus in 1 race a year and just keep running, because I think the greatest blessing is not so much all the swag and all the glitz and glam, but running itself, I think, is the greatest blessing that I have. So I want to keep doing that as long as I can. When I met that 75-year-old runner, I said, that's what I want. I want to do this for a long time, so I need to make sure that I don't overdo anything at this season of life. If you want to run a marathon, look at me. You can do it. The hardest step is the first step, which is to make that decision, to accept that you can do it, to spread the news and kind of keep taking baby steps into 26.2 miles. You can do it. God can help you, and I hope that I am of any inspiration to you in your journey. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer, to encourage you, and to tell you more about my journey. This is Cynthia with simplycynthia.com, where we spread hope online, one post at a time. Bye-bye.
Venceu na cruz, eu descanso nos braços do